Okay, I promised I'd take a look at this and maybe update the tier list a few times during TI. We're gonna take a look at what the most popular heroes were in the group stage, what looked like it worked, what looked like it didn't work, what looks to be broken. Maybe even do a deeper dive on like builds people are going on the good heroes. So we'll start off by just looking through the stats of most picked and most banned. So combined is the column we're looking at over here. Tier list is on my YouTube. I think exclamation mark YouTube, and you'll be able to take a look. It should be the most recent video. Um, Treant, most picked, most banned, no surprise. Also very high win rate, no surprise. This hero's in every one of my pubs. It's been nerfed 3 times, doesn't matter. Feels like they nerf Treant and his win rate goes up, so maybe they should buff him next patch. I don't know. Pangolier, it looks like the nerfs have finally hit this hero. Not winning too much, still very, very, very high ban rate. Like, pick 26 times, ban 62. From talking to people and like the general vibe is that the hero is still very good. The laning phase in the early game could feel a little slower because the mana cost changes. But still a very strong hero. You just can't really force pick it as much. And I would say that the win rates kind of reflect that. Like if you pick it before it gets banned, you lose 70% of the time. If you don't pick it before it gets banned, it gets banned. So it's not like the hero is unplayably bad. I'm sure if you picked it later in the draft, the win rate would look much better. But you don't get it later in the draft, and you don't get it if you get it early in the draft, you get counterpicked. It seems to be that's like the vibe. Dazzle looks unbeatable. It's like banned every game. I don't know if these were mid Dazzle games or I think I saw a couple offlane Dazzle games, but 13 is not a huge sample size, and regardless of sample size, everyone unequivocally agrees that you either pick or ban this hero. Like 100 combined picks and bans, pretty much. Or sorry, 87. For some reason, I added the 13 to the 87. Kunkka, I think this hero is absolutely broken, but he kind of has the same problem that Pangolier has. Whereas if you try to pick it later in the draft, it'll get banned. And the earlier you pick it, the more counters are left in the pool. Traditionally, like I said earlier, Pango can kind of play against the counters just fine. His spells costed very little mana, and he would get his own farm. Kunkka against like Huskar mid or Necro mid, Monkey King mid. Like there's so many options you can pick to close him out mid. And if it gets counterpicked mid, you're putting an off lane, which isn't unplayable but not good either. There's a bunch of bad matchups. Why are there 3 win% columns? That's a good question actually. So this is the win rate when the hero is picked. This is the win rate when it's banned. So I'm assuming the team that bans its win rate. So if you ban Treant, you win 43% of the time. Which is weird because like if you ban it, you lose because you're using the ban on Treant and you're not using it on some other hero. If you let them pick it, you lose. So there's no counterplay to Treant, it seems. So that's what that means. Combined, I'm not sure what the combined win% necessarily means. I would look more so at the win% when it's picked. And then maybe like these are like a cool flavor stat for the banned one. That's what I assume it means. But honestly, the combined stat only matters for like volume. Um, yeah, the win% on Radiant is 41% for some reason. I'm not exactly sure why. I wouldn't look too much into the win% per side because not only like is 24 a low sample, like 24 games is not a lot. It's a lot when you factor in that people are first picking this hero, right? So the win% being high when it's first picked is a very bad sign for a hero. It means it's super strong. But the side can like matter a lot less because you're kind of cutting it in half. Like maybe it's 12 Radiant, 12 Dire. Oh, percent of picks on Radiant versus Dire? Never mind. That makes a lot more sense. Why did I think of it the other way? It doesn't even make sense. Thanks for pointing that out. Yeah, it's just percent of Radiant versus Dire. I don't think that matters too much. The problem with looking at this percent of picks on Radiant versus Dire, unless it's completely abnormal, is that usually one team favors one side and the other team favors one pick. So, like, let's say you want first pick every time, the enemy picks Radiant because they like Radiant. Then, like, you're not going to get Treant as much because on Radiant because you're not first pick, something like that, right? Because the draft order matters a lot. Invoker, very popular. I think I've seen it played 4 and mid. I don't think I've seen it offlane at all. Brewmaster is kind of the same boat as Treant for me. I feel like this hero is just like so broken. So broken. TA, I'm not sure why it's picked so much or banned so much. Maybe there's certain matchups. Like if you pick, like, I think Centaur's pretty good. Like I don't know why people are banning TA. Muerta, I think Ace J was talking about this in the chat the other day. This hero got picked a lot and it won a lot of games. It's being played as 4 mostly and some carry games, I believe. A very high win rate. I don't think it's getting picked too early. I'll try to take a look at the Liquipedia stats real quick too, in case I'm missing out on anything. But I don't really want to use their webpage because there's no dark mode. I don't want my eyes to die. So I guess I can cross-reference the stats really quickly. Let's see. Okay. So yeah, the stats are obviously the exact same. Interestingly, Treant was 6 and 8 on Dire and 7 and 3 on Radiant. I don't think that's a big deal again because of sample size. Yeah, you don't want to flashbang. Bristleback, this hero is so strange to me because the win rates at TI have kind of felt like in my pubs, like it seems like it's around 50% and it doesn't look broken half the time, but then like the 51% of the time it is winning, it looks like there's no hero in the game better than Bristleback, right?
Oh,
thanks for the prime sub, Instick. Appreciate it. So let's scroll down a bit. I don't think there's too many other surprises in this like pool. Like Shadow Demon losing a lot didn't surprise me. I also thought it would be a little. I thought it would be popular, but I thought it was a little better than that. Chaos Knight got a buff right before TI. Absolute crazy hero. No surprise that it's got an insane win rate. Chaos Knight, like, well, I guess we'll talk about that more in like the win percentage category, but heroes that I thought we would see more if I scroll down. Sven. I'm surprised Sven's not picked that much. That hero did get a few nerfs. Luna, I thought, would be a lot more popular. It has performed really well when it's picked. And other than that, I thought OD would be picked a lot more. Like, this is a good win rate. It's not that many games, right? I think maybe has been the only one playing it, Somnus. And kind of just normal from here on out. Like, it does not surprise me. I don't know if there's a way for me to get the aggregate of the attributes, but from what I've noticed, agility heroes and a lot of universal heroes, other than the really broken ones, are just unpicked. Most heroes are strength or intelligence that have been picked. We did see some mid ogre. I believe Nouns played it a few times as well. If we go to most picked hero, it's Venge. Not a very good win rate. And again, I don't know if this is a symptom of picking it early and then getting countered. I don't even know what Venge's counters are. Maybe the hero's just overrated. Earth Spirit, I'm surprised, didn't do better. I think that hero is completely busted, but I guess in a competitive setting, it just gets countered or like doesn't have as good of an explosive start. Phoenix, to no surprise, has performed very well. We're in a meta where like it feels like 60 to 70% of the heroes picked are strength. Phoenix has percent damage and percent healing. Strength heroes have high HP pools, so Phoenix just makes a lot of sense. The other thing is a lot of strength heroes don't hit the egg very well, and the attack speed slow is debilitating in the early game for strength heroes. Like They pick Chaos Knight. Phoenix pretty good against Chaos Knight. They pick, um, they pick a bunch of stuff like Kunkka CK has been a popular duo core. Primal Beast, like all these heroes have a really hard time hitting the egg. So Sven has been picked a lot, but not banned that much. Right? So like when we looked at the combined pool, there were some heroes that every team favored. Sven has just underperformed a lot and really not get banned. Like you can get Sven if you want, and a lot of carries are kind of defaulting to it. They probably think it's on paper good against Chaos Knight, but I just don't think it's that strong in the meta. Other than that, where's ET and Chen? I don't think Chen is very good right now. Chen is usually like heroes like Chen and Elder Titan as well are better in like an agility meta, and there's just not very good agility cores. So like Chen has the heal, he has mech. Sometimes they even get pipe or a Vladzor, right? Those buff agility heroes with low HP pools the most and high damage output. Strength heroes don't need an extra 2v health. They want like the armor can help them, but other heroes can build those armor items like something like a Solar Crest for them, right? Elder Titan, similar thing. Like against agility heroes, you reduce their agility armor, like their base armor. Reducing magic resistance is also good against agility heroes because their HP pools are small. Rubik, the change to Rubik, like Rubik and Vengeful Spirit, no pun intended, got swapped in the meta. Venge does like the minus damage on her W instead of Rubik now, so she's just stronger in lane. Like Rubik's just too weak in lane. Sky is doing quite well. The silence is really good against heroes like Brewmaster. Brewmaster gets picked really quite a bit. Earthshaker win rate? I'm not under. I was playing it a lot, but I don't get last pick in pubs that much. So, and I haven't played mid that much recently either. A lot of the TI players have been taking mid, and I'm just like, whatever, you guys are playing at TI. Just been playing all core roles. The other thing about this patch is so weird that they had like such a meta shifting patch like 4 days before TI. Like Spectre's good. I've been like, oh, I want to play Spectre. Spirit Breaker's crazy broken. And you can see its win rate here too. Spirit Breaker's probably the craziest broken hero in the patch, and that wasn't picked at all at the last tournament, right? So like there's kind of a big meta shift. Other than that, let's look at what's losing the most and winning the most. So, like we talked about, we're looking for like big red bars and big green bars together. So Spectre, I think, is crazy strong. We're probably gonna see more of it. Morphling's more of like a reaction pick to Spirit Breaker I've seen. Then that actually works out. Dazzle, Primal, AA. Naga's like the only pickable agility hero. Maybe Luna sometimes. Chaos Knight's batshit broken. Wraith King has mostly been picked as offlane, I think. I'm surprised Puck is doing so well. I think Puck is not that good in the meta. I don't know if anyone's gotten the Aghanims build I've seen going around a bit too. But yeah, if you take a look at these heroes, like I'll count the amount of and universal heroes. So I think Venge is universal. I don't remember. It's universal agility. So one. Still looking. Pango's universal. So two. Luna 3. Void 4. And this is like something like 20 heroes. Then TA 5. Naga 6. And we're scrolling pretty far down. You know, it's literally mostly been strength and Invoker's Universal 2. Yeah, I forgot about him. My bad. He's still an int hero to me because he has like 40 spells. Dazzle's Universal. Yep, I think I forgot about that one too. Thanks for pointing that out. But yeah, like most heroes are literally just strength or intelligence with some universal heroes, and there's literally like two. Like in the most contested, we have TA, Invoker, Brew, Dazzle, Pango as like the universal heroes, right? But like those heroes aren't really like the universal style like that we saw at the beginning of the patch, where it's like a Wind Ranger type of hero or a Void Spirit. They're kind of like Dazzle being the exception, I guess. They're kind of just summons heroes or like the same hero they were before. TB is not good at all, no. Teams. Spirit, I might make a video on as well the next coming days. So we take a look at Spirit. We're going to take a quick look at the teams that have looked the strongest to me. So like Spirit, LGD, Liquid, and what they've been picking as well, and that'll kind of round out the video. So time, the last month. A lot of Enchantress, Sky, Dark Willow, Kunkka. They seem to still like Terrorblade and PA. I feel like they're picking a little different versus the rest of the teams, right? Like, there's not as many of the popular heroes in here. I see Brewmaster and Pango. I guess Kunkka. Like, these other heroes really aren't too contested. Spirit Breaker they pick, Primal. Or should we take a look at a team like LGD? Past month. Yeah, Yataro is one of the only people still picking agility heroes. I think I saw him play Luna as well. LGD is also favoring Luna, but this seems a bit more meta to me. Yeah, the Ench is enabling Yataro a lot. That's what I've noticed. And then I would say that Liquid are usually kind of the meta-defining team a lot of the time in Europe. Like, people kind of like Gaiman and Liquid, everyone was just copying them for a while, it felt like. There were some teams that had their own style. So in this past month, picks and bans. They're favoring strength heroes a lot. Every time I tune into a Liquid game, I see the CK Kunkka dual core, Earth Spirit, Chaos Knight. They like the Phoenix. No success with Gyro, it's unsurprising. They like the Bristleback core as well. They like the Brewmaster stuff. I think I've even seen them pick Lone Druid once, yeah. But they're kind of picking more towards the meta. I see a lot of like strength and int heroes in their most picked. But that's kind of like a meta update. On my mid tier list, I think that the only hero that's kind of suspect, I guess, is my OD placement. Like if I flip back to the video right now, even just go to the end of the video. Bum bum bum. So TA thrown up a bit. Let's just get to the end of the video. So I thought Zeus would have been much better. For me, Zeus would go down. And I guess OD is more of like a last pick type hero. But the rest of these heroes are pretty spot on. Primal should go where Zeus is, I think. I think Earth Spirit, Primal, and Kunkka are the best heroes for sure. And then Quap, Invoker, Shaker, Pango, and the tier below. And then everything else is kind of just like pick as needed. No team has really like aside from Azure Ray, no team has really used OD successfully or at all. There's still plenty of time left at TI, but the majority of the matches get played in the group stage. The rest is going to be playoffs. Like, each team played how many matches? Was it 4 best of 2s and then the deciding matches? So, like, potentially 11 games, right? There's not going to be many teams, unless they do a long lower bracket run, that are going to play 11 more games at the tournament. So most of the stuff we've seen from teams will be their bread and butter, and unless some huge thing changes in some upper bracket run, there isn't just that many. Oh yeah, Ogre can be on here too. Maybe Ogre would be in the B tier. Other than that, there really hasn't been like much new meta for mid. Spirit Breaker could go on here in A tier as well, or even S tier. Even though I think that hero is way better as 3 or 4. I don't think breaks necessarily matter that much. I would say that The one thing that could affect nouns is if there was some sort of patch. Other than that, this is probably the best TI for underdog teams. I think the patch that we had before TI was more impactful than like the 3 or 4 patches we had before that. So it's more about kind of figuring out last minute what you think is good and making your own style based on the heroes available in the patch or countering whatever's available. Like if everyone's picking Treant, if you're the first team to find out how to beat Treant, you're going to have huge short-term success until people copy you. So like this is going to be the best underdog style TI. If this TI was played on the patch where it was Gaiman Gladiators versus Liquid in the finals every time, I don't think we would see teams like nouns do so well in that kind of a patch that's like really matured. Not to slight nouns, I actually think they played really good, and I think their drafts were insanely good, which is a big reason, right? I think they're all insanely talented players as well. But it's going to be more about figuring stuff out than trying to outplay people at TI this year, I think. But yeah, that's it. It's kind of the meta update from the group stages. Hope y'all enjoyed watching. Peace.